Okay, this is a garage sale I went to this morning, Saturday morning. I've been planning to go here since maybe it was Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. He put the ad in, but it said punk records and stuff like that. You know, it sounded like it was right up my alley, the eclectic stuff he was going to be selling. So, you know, it was number one, high priority on my list for Saturday morning. But it started at 9 a.m., which is like crazy late in the garage sale world. So, you know, I decided, well, that's all I'm going to do. You know, it's going to be my best bet. Nothing else looked any better. And plus, it was in an area where a lot of the professional diggers don't go. So, man, I was up early this morning, cruised on down there, got there about 40 minutes early. And their ad said, you know, please don't bother them, you know, no early birds. You know, I can understand that. But I saw a few people up there that looked like they were shopping already. So I went ahead and I was going to get my camera going and go up there and do a little bit of digging, but man, my memory card was full. But I did get that straightened out. I do have some video of this dig. Really eclectic stuff there. Really nice stuff. And I looked at that first. I didn't see any records. And I finally asked, do you have any records? And he says, well, yeah, but I decided not to sell them. So, oh, man, you know. I've been planning almost all week for this, but talked to him a little bit. I guess maybe I kind of talked him into thinking that he might have one or two records for sale. And but you know how record collectors are. We like to show our stuff and talk records. So he let me go in his house. Really nice guy, and his name is Guy, by the way. Nice punk selection he had there. He did end up selling me 3 records, a couple of TSOL records and a Circle Jerk record. And he kind of gave me a little bit of a room tour, and it's very fitting for this time of the season, Halloween, because some people may think this is kind of morbid, what you're going to see here, but I don't at all. This is about a guy's love for his pet, you know. You can tell he really loved his cat, so check this out and enjoy. You know, I hope to do some trading with this guy later. And thanks, Guy. And thanks for man, working this little video in during the garage sale, man. That was pretty cool of you. All right, guys, let's check it out.
Allergic to cats.
No.
This is my space. I don't like the term man cave, but because it's not really that. But yeah, this is my record collection, and I've been, well, how it really started with me is in 1984, my brother was a senior in high school and I was in 6th grade. And so we had a nice record collection as kids, metal. We were big metal, AC/DC, Maiden, Judas Priest, like that was major influences. And so I come home from school one day, and I really wanted to listen to Pyromania, Def Leppard, of course. And my brother had taken every record. At that point, we probably had 50 or 60, which for me was a lot at 11, 12 years old. God told my brother to stop listening to secular music.
Uh-oh, he found Jesus? Or?
He found Jesus and was decided in one day that he was going to become a minister. When he graduated high school, he was going to go to seminary and become a minister.
Wow.
We lived across the street from a car wash, and my parents still lived there. He took every record, across the street to a car wash, threw them in the dumpster. I came home and I became, I was unglued.
Oh,
I could not believe it. And I ran over there and they were gone. I mean, and it was just so. About 10 years ago, I decided I'm going to get every record that he trashed, and that's how it started. So at the time I was living in San Francisco. There's a bunch of great used record stores there. Amoeba Records is
that's the biggie.
Yeah, it's the biggie. Yeah. There's one in San Francisco and there's one in Berkeley. And I actually lived in Berkeley, so I would go to the Berkeley store all the time, and for 20 or 30 bucks, I was able to replace all those records, and then from there, it just kept going. And eBay, you know.
Well, I hate to stop you in the story here, but what happened to your brother? Is he still with Jesus?
He is very much with Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm very much not with Jesus.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm not anti-Christian. I just don't believe in God, and so it's definitely been.
Wow, there's an interesting family story history there.
Yeah, there's some weird table conversations there. So he's a minister and lives in Kentucky. And I have not seen him in 3 years, and I haven't talked to him in about 3 years. So.
Wow.
But he's supposed to be coming home for Thanksgiving, so maybe we'll see.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. Well, one thing I do like about collecting is I always like finding interesting containers for 45s or the LPs. So I'm a big freak about that. I mean, I've got a bunch of different varieties of those. So let's see here. I've really been into collecting soundtracks to horror films lately, and I know I'm not going to be able to find it. The Halloween series is real big to me. I've been trying to find Friday the 13th forever. I was able to find the Fog, the original from John Carpenter. I really like the John Carpenter films.
Okay.
So that's what I try and collect, and mostly just horror films, that sort of thing. And then I'm real into, 80s punk and then some of the stuff from the 2000s, the mellower stuff, sort of space rock kind of, stuff. I'm real into that. Radiohead I love those guys. But I think the records that I'm most proud of or that are worth the most money really are, I've shown you earlier, these 2 Pink Floyd limited editions, and now they did a series of them. I think they released 5 total. The first 2, and
I've never seen those, and I don't ever remember seeing these on YouTube even. So
yeah, and well, what's weird is I've never seen them since. I read about them when they first came out, and somebody got these as a gift for me. Everybody knows the Swingin' Pig, bootleg, whatever, but these were actually. Pink Floyd was cool with it. Like they had no problem with these coming out, but I've never seen 3, 4, and 5, and I've never even listened to these. So
not even listen to them.
Well, one of these days I will, but it's just like I don't know. I paid so much money for them. It was like I know they're only going to go up in value.
Yeah.
I will have to give them a listen. I need to get a new needle. That's one thing that.
Well, I'm not going to ask you exactly how much you paid for those, but what's the most you ever paid for a record?
The most I ever paid for a record was a Super Suckers album that is right down here, and it took me a couple of years to find one. Here it is. So the Super Suckers are a sort of a pop, rock, just rock and. They're great, but this was a country album they did, and they toured also with a full country band behind them. But I paid $100 for this, and I think that's the most I've ever paid for a record. So.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was just looking on eBay last night, and there was one on there for like $230. So I felt like
amazing.
What?
Yeah.
And the Fog soundtrack, I paid probably $80 or $90 for that, and now it's going for $200 and $300. So.
Yeah, I'm always amazed when I buy a record. Then I look, a year later and see how much it's gone up, and maybe I should unload it,
But it's like I was telling you earlier, I listed in the ad tons of records for sale from this to that, and so last night I just started. And I didn't even get halfway through, and I thought I just don't want to get rid of them. And even if someone offered me more than they were worth, I just think, you know what, I just don't want to let go of them. And even the ones that I haven't listened to, like some of the crap, frisbee, you just use them as a frisbee when you were a kid. Half-price book records is what I always call them.
Okay.
But I can't even let go of those,
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I've never sold a record to date. Eventually I'm going to have to, because I have doubles of a few. Not too many.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll buy a complete collection from a garage sale, and it just happens to be something I have.
Yeah, you're bound to get some duplicates. But yeah, it's an obsession for sure. There's nothing like the sound of analog to me, and more than that, it's sort of with me. It's sort of the ritual. Like I don't mind 8 songs I'm doing so far. I have to come flip the record.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like with CD, just let it go through or whatever. But I like being involved in the process. I really do. And the sound of the needle and the whole bit.
It's listening and it's physical too. You know, and it's kind of hard to explain to somebody that's never done it. You know?
That's true. It is hard to explain, but there obviously has been a resurgence in the last 5-10 years. But I still like the sound of the old records, and I really like old country.
Old country. Okay.
Yeah, I really love listening to those on vinyl. It just sounds so great. So.
Are you actively collecting records right now, or you are? Where do you get your records? Do you go to the record stores or garage sales?
I will go to Doc's Records here in Fort Worth, or Forever Young in Arlington. I go out to Bill's or whatever if I'm in Dallas. Yeah. But by and large, it's eBay.
eBay.
Yeah, yeah. I sell a lot of things on eBay, not records so much, but I'm always going around to estate sales and garage sales and buying crap and then selling it.
Yeah.
Or the thrift stores, I go and buy clothes and then resell those, and it all just goes into the fun to buy more shit. You know? So just to get more records or whatever.
That's kind of what I do when I go to garage sales or estate sales. I'm primarily looking for records, but if I find something else I think I can resell to kind of fund my habit, I buy it and sell it. You know.
Yeah, working for a university is great. I mean, I get a lot of time off and whatnot, but the pay is not as good as I'd like, so I have to supplement my income somehow. eBay's the perfect market for that. So
it's a fun way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And then so I decorate with the 45s too. So every once in a while, I'll just pull one of those off the wall. I mean, most of them are pretty torn up, but every once in a while, I'll hear one of them, so I have to get up there and tear them off the wall.
They look cool.
Yeah, I dig it.
And you're a skater too, I guess, or were you saying?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think I'll always consider myself a skateboarder. I don't think I would be who I am today if I hadn't started skateboarding. But yeah, I love collecting the old ones from the '60s, and that's actually the oldest one I have and is worth the most money, because that's a homemade one that people would just take roller skates and then just nail them to a piece of wood. That's actually one of those, and I've never seen one. And I actually got that from shopgoodwill.com. I don't know if you ever checked that site out, but I got that on there.
That's cool.
And then of course all the medical antiques, I'm really into all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I broke my arm at a skate park in Big Spring, Texas, in about 1976 or something like that.
I've read a lot about the park in Big Spring. There's old skaters forums and whatever. Guys are always talking and posting pictures and stuff from the old park in Big Spring.
It's probably not there.
It's not.
Okay,
it's not, But there's still kids out there that are skating.
Yeah.
But,
oh man, that was so big for us. The urethane wheels came out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember this one kid had some wheels called Kryptonics or something,
Yeah. Cryptos. Yeah.
Well, tell me about this.
Oh yeah, so I was at an estate sale, and I was buying a bunch of old medicine bottles, and as I was checking out, the lady said, "Oh, you into weird shit?" And I said, I mean, I don't know. And she said, "Would you like to see a mummified cat?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." So she directs me back out to the garage. And as they were cleaning up and preparing for the garage sale, they noticed a drawer had been pulled out inside this garage, and that thing got stuck in the garage in like 1953 or something. And his arm, so this arm was actually on a drawer that was kind of out, so he was trying to get out, and then he just froze and died or whatever. And you can see his eye sockets are still in, so the gravity like pulled him out, but he's got all his teeth. His bottom side's rotted out, but basically he just laid flat for 60 years, and there's a little damage there, but by and large he's pretty well intact. It's real soft, but it's pretty amazing, because all right, this is the live one that I just got, and I think he's got a crush on this cat, and then when I do this, he goes ape shit because he doesn't understand why he can see it but not
touch it.
But back in June, I had a cat that was 18 years old, and I moved to San Francisco with her, moved back with her.
18-year-old cat.
Yeah, and I knew I wanted to do something special, so this is a little morbid, but so I have a friend that is the director of molecular anthropology, assistant professor of biology and anthropology. She's basically the medical examiner for the entire state of Indiana, but works at the University of Indianapolis. And she said, when Zoe dies, send her to me. Put her in dry ice, overnight her, get her to me. So the cat got sick, and about a week and a half into it, I couldn't go any longer. I couldn't watch her just die. So I went and put her down. That same day, my friend left for Chile to take a group of students down there to do a dig for 10 days. So it's pretty weird, but I put her in a box and stuck her in my freezer for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then as soon as my friend got back to the country, I overnighted her. And what she sent me back was the complete, fully intact skeleton. Anyway, of my cat, all 205 bones, and this is the skeleton. And anyway, so I was going to try and put her back together myself because she labeled like left hind limb, right forelimb. I mean, every part of her is together. It's amazing. So I was going to try and put her back together again, and I thought I could put a jigsaw puzzle together that was 205 pieces. But then when I mean, it's just like there's just no way. So
how do they do that? Do they glue them together when they
use a Dremel tool and super glue and very, very small wire, and they actually wire the bodies back together. And I've seen cat skeletons complete, feline skeletons for $400 or $500.
Yeah, I guess you can appreciate that now, the $400 or $500.
Yeah,
all the work.
Well, especially since this was my cat for 20 years, basically.
Wow. Yeah.
But I went and started investigating. It's called articulation to see how much it would cost to have it done. And the cheapest price I've been quoted so far is $800.
Wow.
So I said 500 is the most that I would spend on it. So for now, I've just got a cat that's not put together. So if anybody knows how to put together a cat, I'd be willing to let go of some records or something for that. So.
Well, it's the first time I ever ran into somebody keeping their cat in a box like this.
Well, I think that it is a little weird, but I don't mind admitting that so much.
I like weird though,
Well, I don't mind admitting that so much as I don't like saying, well, I kept her in the fridge for 2 weeks, the freezer or whatever. So it was definitely weird, but well, man, I better get back out.